Hello and welcome to Lug to Lug, the channel where two mates talk about watches. And this week is actually a very big moment for the channel because we're talking about our first ever Microbrand watch.
Yes, we are. We're talking about the Formex Essense 39, which I'm wearing today and which I own. Let's get to it.
Here we go.
Let's just do a very quick wrist check before we start. So as Ben mentioned, he is wearing his Formex, the Essence 39.
I am, yes.
Which is a very lovely looking piece. And I'm wearing an Oris, which we seem to be constantly mentioning on the channel, and that is the Oris Diver 65, the now discontinued version. So I think it's safe to say that Formex isn't really a mainstream brand. It's not one that people outside of the watch community have probably heard of. So what was it that drew you to the brand in the first place?
Yeah, good question. So I came across Formex for the first time online. At that particular time, they had the Formex Essence 43 as their kind of flagship modern day Formex watch. I really liked the look of it. I thought it looked amazing online. I never actually got a chance to hold one or get hands-on with one, but I was instantly kind of drawn towards it. But I felt 43mm, probably going to be massive on my very small wrist. And I just remember thinking in my head, if they made a smaller version of this, it would be a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And sure enough, Formex listened to what customers wanted. Everything, 40 to 39mm seems to be the in vogue kind of case size at the moment, and Formex came out with this Essence 39, rebranded the logo, brought the brand up to pace in terms of aesthetics and making it look a little bit more sharp. The old logo certainly looked a bit outdated.
I think that's fair, yeah. I think it did a bit. And I guess that there's a couple of things there you've touched on that are probably pros and cons of micro brands. Like the fact that you couldn't try on a 43 is definitely a con. You can't walk into a shop and try on a Formex. But then at the same time, they do listen to their customers, and you have that kind of much closer communication between the brand and the audience. Yeah, so Formex have a small community on Facebook. There's a group, and the CEO, Rath, he's regularly on there, interacting with customers. Sharing memes,
bigging up Formex, putting down other micro brands. No, he doesn't. He's a decent guy. He's a very decent guy. But I think that's one of the benefits of a micro brand. There's a smaller community, and I think Formex certainly listened to their customers.
Yeah, it's really cool. You don't.
This was the result.
Exactly.
A Formex Essence in a 39mm case size.
Yeah. And you don't, the big brands, you don't get their CEOs, replying to like Ben's comments on Facebook. Whereas on Formex, they do, which is really, really cool. So other than the kind of community, I guess, what else drew you to this watch in particular? Like, what was the thing that caught your eye most about it?
Yeah, so the finishing on this watch for the price is outstanding.
Yeah.
I think, that's no hyperbole. I think that it's a fair comment.
I think it is fair.
When you look at the dial, there is just so much going on. You've got the CNC machined lines, you've got the applied indices and the applied updated logo, which I think looks really cool. I think that's a fair upgrade.
I guess the machine lines are somewhat Omega Aquaterra homage, you could say.
Yeah, definitely.
But I don't think it's a bad thing, because it does look good.
It's definitely drawn inspiration from, as you say, the Aquaterra, but I still think it stands alone as being a unique piece.
For sure.
There are other features on this watch that stand it apart from the Aquaterra.
Yeah. I think that the four screws around the bezel are quite unique, right? Like,
absolutely.
That looks super unique.
They are on there for the case suspension system, which is a patented
there we go.
technology, I guess you could say, that Formex have introduced and have incorporated into this watch.
Yeah, that's a completely unique feature. If any of you have been calling out for case suspension on your watch, Formex is the place to go for that. Do you notice it in everyday wear? I
notice it in the fact that I get like tens of hairs caught in it every day. But if I'm being serious, I think it's a bit of a novelty.
Okay.
I'm not that into it. Some people are. It's just one of those features on a watch that it kind of it splits opinion.
And pulls
for
hairs.
Good or bad. And, yeah, as well as splitting hairs. So.
Yeah. So the case suspension isn't a reason for buying.
No, that was not
There's many others.
Yeah, there were many other reasons. The dial for me just, I think the blue just looks incredible. It's such it's a blue that really plays in the light.
Yeah, really.
You can get so many different shades of blue from this watch, which makes you feel as though you're wearing a different watch at some points.
Yeah, it's a really nice blue color actually. It's perfect.
And the Sapphire Crystal on the front is anti-reflective as well.
Very nice.
So you don't get any glare. Well, you don't a lot of the time. Sometimes you do.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it looks crystal clear when you're looking through, reading the time.
Yeah, that's always good.
Yeah.
And it's quite a compact case overall, right? Like, what are the dimensions?
Yeah. So we have obviously a 39mm case size. We have a 20mm lug width. The lug to lug is measured at 45mm, and the thickness of the case is 10mm.
That's really So I mean,
it's a compact watch.
I think it would fit on. Yeah, even if your wrist is really small, this is absolutely fine. You could pull it off.
Yeah.
It can go kind of under the radar, slip under a shirt.
Yes. Yeah.
But then at the same time, I think it does have enough kind of blinginess to feel kind of special, right? Like it has,
absolutely, yeah.
Especially on that bracelet.
And you've got obviously the polished bezel as well, which pops.
Yeah.
Just coming back to the bracelet though, I think this is an outstanding bracelet. I think Formex have absolutely, blown the competition away. I would say with this bracelet. Granted, it doesn't taper, which some people like their watches to do, but it's not something I really notice.
No, and it's quite a thin bracelet, isn't it? Like I don't know if you need a taper on that. It's not.
I don't think you do.
It's not very heavy. It's not.
It would look unusual with a taper on that bracelet.
Yeah, I think it looks great how it is, and it has a really nice quick release system, right?
It has a really nice quick release system, yeah. So that means I can switch out a bracelet onto a strap within a minute or so. And I really think other brands, not necessarily micro brands, but other more like legacy brands, need to be looking at this as a potential feature that they should be offering. Because it makes switching bracelets and straps so much easier. You don't damage the lugs, and it gives you the option to really kind of spruce up the look of your watch on a regular basis.
Yeah, and it comes with a second strap as well, right? It comes with a leather strap.
So at the time when I purchased this watch on the Formex website, there was this, I guess it was like an offer or something, where the the strap was included as part of the kind of package.
Yeah. And it's a decent leather strap as well. Like it's got deployment clasp.
A deployment clasp with various levels of adjustment.
But I think the point about quick release is a good one, because IWC on their new Big Pilot have made a massive deal out of that. And that's like a £9,000 watch. Yeah. And this is 1,500, and it had it a year before, 2 years before they had it. Yeah. So it's
it's possible that this is something that we will see maybe in watches.
I think so.
But I don't think it will be something that will happen overnight kind of thing.
Yeah. And I think it's annoying that Swiss brands do that, isn't it? Like they'll release one model that has it, and then they'll slowly trickle it through the rest of the portfolio when they could just do it as a quick.
And it's probably sticking with the bracelet. There are a few other kind of things that we need to sort of touch base on. So this bracelet does have a butterfly clasp, which for some people, I know some people don't like the system. It can be a bit fiddly.
Yeah, I think it's just one you have to get used to, isn't it? If you're not used to it, it can be fiddly. Yeah. And I know when I'm trying on watches in store that have a butterfly clasp, I always end up needing to ask the sales assistant to do it up for me, which makes you feel really useless.
I think it can sometimes make a watch enthusiast feel like a bit of a watch novice.
But this is a nice one. It feels solid. And it's properly machined. It feels
machined, real nice reassuring click.
Yeah.
That's really satisfying.
There we go. That's nice.
And screw-in links as well, just to kind of finish it off.
Yeah, complete the bracelet. It's got
which makes obviously adjusting the bracelet length that much easier.
Yeah, and I guess the only negative would be no micro adjust, right? Because of the butterfly clasp.
Absolutely, yeah. So there's no micro adjust, but
then you do get that lovely seamless look.
Yeah.
Which I personally would probably prefer on this watch.
I would as well.
On this bracelet.
I agree. Yeah.
And then the movement inside, what are we talking about here? Because I can see that it does say chronometer on the front, so it must be something fairly tasty in there.
So we're talking a watch that cost me £1,300, let's say.
Yeah.
And you're getting a COSC certified Sellita SW201 movement, which is within the Sellita SW200 range. That is the top
of the range.
Top of the range. So it's COSC certified. So it's been vigorously tested in a lab over 15 days to ensure that it's working within a certain parameter of accuracy.
Yeah, that's really nice. And you can also see it through the display case back. And they've done quite a nice job with it, I think.
Pretty well decorated.
The rotor is kind of signed by Formex.
The jewels, they kind of stand out quite nicely.
Yeah, there's some nice screws on there that have been kind of blued, I guess, like blued screws.
There is a certain level of
the finishing
decoration.
Yeah, there's a bit of decoration on there. It looks. Yeah. It's again for an entry level.
Yeah.
But within Swiss luxury watches, entry level. For the price, it's above what you'd expect.
It looks decent.
It does.
I would say it looks decent.
It does. It really does. Are there any other negatives on this watch? Because you've mentioned one really, which is the case suspension. Other than that, have you had any negative experiences at all with like Formex or with the watch?
So there was a particular issue with the chapter ring, a very small QC issue, where the chapter ring had a little scuff on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I got in contact with Formex straight away, and they were fantastic. They said, send it back to us. We will get it sorted for you.
Yeah.
Which I did. It returned back to me within 10 days, and throughout those 10 days, Formex kept me informed of where they were in terms of repairing it. I can't thank the customer service enough. It's priceless to have good quality customer service, especially with microbrands who I think are still trying to build a reputation.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you can't really be a microbrand with rubbish customer service. But then there are some out there, and I've seen a lot of complaints with like Ming recently to name one. And Formex seemed to be the complete opposite of that, really. So big up Formex.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So is there anything else that you'd call out as like a big selling point on this watch to a potential buyer that we haven't already mentioned?
Yeah, so I really liked the date window. It's a unique looking date window.
It is actually very nice. It's almost got a bit of, I don't know what you'd call that, beveled framing almost around it.
Yeah.
And it's also colour matched really nicely.
It's colour matched nicely, and it's at 6 o'clock, which we all love. Which we symmetry.
Yeah, it's a really good date window. It's one of the. I think the good date windows are the ones that you almost don't notice unless you're checking the date.
Really well integrated onto the dial.
And that one is definitely fits the brief there.
Yeah.
And the dial is stunning. I think for me that is the highlight on the watch. That dial dial is
so nice.
Really, really nice. I love a blue dial, and I love a blue dial that plays in the light, and that is both of those things.
The watch is both polished and brushed, and you get some nice, really lovely finishing on the bevels, which are polished. The bezel is polished as well, so yes, you will get a few scuffs and nicks on it, but it is what it is with a polished bezel. You can't really escape that. Yeah,
it's kind of polished around the outside and brushed on top, right? So you get a nice bit of contrast. Nice.
And probably worth mentioning that even the crown has the new logo as well. So Formex really pushing the rebrand there.
Yeah.
But that just I think it just adds a bit more attention to detail. And it's
again,
always nice seeing a signed crown.
Yeah, and a very nicely finished one at that.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, very positive, I would say, on the Formex.
Really positive. Yeah, I don't really have any, I would say, genuine negatives to kind of to talk about.
I don't think so. I mean, the case, apart from the case suspension maybe being a bit gimmicky.
It is a bit gimmicky.
I don't think there's.
I think it's a novelty. Who knows? If Formex make a reiteration of this in the future, they may not leave it in or leave it out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could it become a kind of iconic feature?
I think it almost is at this point, right? It's like the kind of Panerai crown guard, like they have to have it,
or the helium escape valve for the Seamaster.
And for Formex, it's the case suspension.
Yeah, but overall, a fantastic watch and a really good brand, really good microbrand.
For me, I think the finishing here is above and beyond the price range, and if anyone's looking for a kind of entry level, I keep saying entry level like this because it's still a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, yeah.
But I think for the price, it's hard to beat, I think. For a daily wear watch, that that level of finishing, how it plays in the light.
It packs a punch.
Packs a big punch.
It packs a punch for sure. So we've been Lug to Lug. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching our latest video. To the new viewers out there, thank you for supporting us, and we would love it if you commented and subscribed to help us grow the channel and for us to continue providing you with the content. As always, we've been Lug to Lug. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.